Tonight, in order to be heard, we're going to say, praise Nat Turner in the resurrected spirit of Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. I know you say you heard me twice, but man, I want to just say this one 3 times. Praise Nat Turner in the resurrected spirit of our warrior and now our ancestor, Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to the most honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Come in tonight, brothers and sisters. Share your love and respects for our brother. Come in here and talk to us. Give your perspective. No conspiracies, though, tonight. Tonight, we're just going to ride with it. We have a freedom fighter who's fallen. That's the sad part, but it was a beautiful way to go out in defense of our race. Let me go to 7815. Praise Nat Turner in the resurrected spirit of Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Praise Nat Turner in the spirit of Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. This is Sage Starkeeper, and I wanted to just say a few things.
Okay.
One is, when you're living a life of fear, when you don't know, when you see the police come and you don't know if you're going to die or not, you know, you're living a life that's terror, really, living a life of constant fear. And as Black mothers and fathers tell their sons, you know, be afraid, you know, don't know what the police is going to do, whatever. We actually put in a spirit of terror and fear into our children. But when President Obama wants to kill a terrorist, he just drops a drone. And the other people around there may be innocent, but they call that collateral damage. So perhaps that's also what happened in Dallas. You know, some of the police officers, I've seen people say they were great people. That, you know, that's called collateral damage. Second, I think a lot of sisters will probably this year have a baby. I might have a baby. So I could name it Micah.
Yes!
And,
yes! Yes!
Yeah, I might.
That's right. If you look, if you, yes, that sister. I mean, keep going. That's what I'm talking about.
Now, other thing is that the police chief of Dallas said the brother was writing RB, and he wrote it twice in blood. He said, does anybody know what RB stands for? And I'm like, okay, I think he's trying to write RBG, you know, red, black, and green. Also, he took a picture with Professor James Small as well as Professor Griff. And then the last thing I want to say is everyone should watch that movie, The Spook That Sat by the Door. Read the book, Sam Greenlee's book, and then watch the movie. The movie was actually produced by Ivan Dixon. And in Slavic language, Ivan means John. So maybe this is John's son. You know, and he was born in the year 1991, which is 19 before and then 19 after. And 19 is a strong number in the Quran. If you could look at Sister Tanetta Muhammad and her constant writings on the number 19. So he was born on the 1919. And Ivan Dixon did the movie, The Spook That Sat by the Door. So that means John in Slavic language. So anyway, and when that movie, The Spook That Sat by the Door, came out, my God, the government shut that movie down in 2 days.
That's right.
And so that should be another movie among all the other things that you said and you talked about our freedom fighters. Look at that movie, The Spook That Sat by the Door. Anyway, long live the spirit of our martyr, Micah Xavier Johnson. Thank you.
Thank you, my sister. Now that sister actually was supposed to schedule a program, but she wasn't able to do the program then, so we have to reschedule it. So if you send me, sister, if you send me another date, that'll be good. We'll see if we can try to get you on here to talk about this sexual abuse. She has a lot of information to drop on us, but I have to honestly say, man, I'll be honest. I was talking, you know how you talk to yourself sometime. I was talking about it, and I was saying to myself, I was just talking to myself, and I was like, man, if I had another child, which I'm not going to do, but if I had another child, I would name my child Micah. But I didn't think about to say it tonight, but when that sister just said it, to come from our sister, let me say, I'm so glad she was the first one to call. Brothers, do you see, we always talk about our women not supporting us. Did you hear the first person to call was a black woman? She didn't stutter. She didn't get scared. She wasn't paralyzed with fear like Dr. Amos Wilson tells us. She showed nothing but honor, respect, and love, even point to getting into numerology, trying to find fancy ways to make the brother bigger than life, or then he is bigger than life. You know, I mean, just everything. And then the ultimate sign of respect. The sister said, I may have a child this year. If I have a child, I'm going to name him Micah. That means that spirit is still in our people. That means our women are giving us authority and permission to be men. She didn't call and say, how could you say that it ain't none of that? She didn't give us none of that we complain that our women give us. You know about our women give us because we ain't men. And our brother Mike has just put a mirror up to every black man that's out here talking about, you know, I'm a Muslim, I'm this and Elijah Muhammad. Yeah, okay, well, what you doing, Slim? They're killing our people. How you trying to carry it? Well, nah, I'm RBG for life. I'm riding these ends. Oh, really? Okay. I know that you'll assault the psychology of black people by calling them words, but what you gonna do, Slim? Huh? I ain't even talking to myself. You know, we got war on the horizon. We've been talking about this since 2012. We said this thing was gonna turn up. Even though I can point to work that I do, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna sit there and say I do the work this brother did. But when it's all said and done, I mean, everybody's got to show respect here. And our sisters will respect us when we act like men. This is a man. He's a martyr. Matter of fact, I don't know if he's a man or was a spirit. I don't even know if he was really real. He might have just been the spirit and the embodiment of warfare come resurrected in African people. Man, I don't know what it is. I just know I feel good tonight. Let's ride. 4787. Praise Nat Turner. Glory to God. Praise Nat Turner in the resurrected spirit of Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey. And long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
All right, praise Nat Turner. Come on with the other part, Gene.
In the resurrected spirit.
In the resurrected spirit.
Of Micah Xavier Johnson.
Of Micah Xavier Johnson.
Glory to Garvey.
Glory to God, along with the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Man, you messed up there for a second. All right, I'm in here.
That's, hey, look, man, even if you come in trepid, that's how, look, he did all that work. He make you a little nervous coming in the house. I understand. That's Brother Michael, get you a little shook up.
All I can say, maximum emergency compensatory justice. You know, when Billy Fuller wrote that book, man, that right there said it all. And, you know, I am going to say this, man. Sometimes it takes a boy to do a man's job. And that's no disrespect to Brother Micah, but, you know, I think about all of the black men who put their lives out there sometimes. You think of Malcolm X and you think of all these other brothers who really stepped out there. They were very, very young, between 25, like Brother Michael was, to 32 in that age range. And, you know, we got a lot of older Negroes, like John Lewis put on Twitter and said, I was beat by white folks who need to come together and all this. So, you know, I'm glad, well, let me hold that back. I don't know who's listening, but I understand fully why this brother did what he did, or whoever who would do such a thing. Now, also what I would say is, man, just listening to you, I have never been taught anything about the Haitian Revolution, and I didn't know any of this stuff you were talking about. And man, I've been to college and I've done all this stuff, man, and it, you know, and it just shocks me how much information has been hidden from us. And, you know, I didn't even know all this stuff that you all are talking about, Frederick Douglass. I didn't know that he had this thing with, I think it's Henry
Holland Garnett
or something like that. Yeah, right. So it's like, man, you know, I don't with all these white folks who spent my money on this education and didn't know something that I feel is really important.
Yes, sir.
Now, closing, I would say that, man, I am to the point where I don't want to hear nothing from any of these white libertarians like Alex Jones, man. Like, you know, man, he is on his show just full white supremacists, you know, supporting the cops. I don't want to hear nothing from Negroes saying we need to come together, man. You know, I think it's this time for this particular situation because white supremacy has forced our hand. Now, I would say this in closing, man. I personally spent 10 years in special forces, and I could have spent another 10 years and probably retired, but it was so much racism, and I was passed for promotion. I was just given so much hell when I was in the military that I just said, there's no way in hell I could do another 10 years of this. And so I didn't re-enlist and I got out. And so I know a lot of black brothers who have gone through the same thing that I went through, and probably Brother Micah went through when he was in the military, man, because white people like to say, oh, racism doesn't exist and this and that. But we all know it's alive and well. So, you know, I will share a story that happened with me. I was in the Middle East, and I was stationed there for about 6 months. And I just kept noticing the way these Arabs were treating the Africans. You know, the African immigrants that come there, they don't have a lot of money. So they do a lot of domestic type jobs for the Arabs. And so one day I was pulling into a Pizza Hut, and this Arab guy had backed out of his car, and then, you know, he just started screaming at me and, hey, man, you stupid African, this and that. And so I just lost control and punched him in his face right there in the parking lot. And then this guy from like Ghana or Nigeria who was with him, he said, oh, man, you shouldn't have did that, man. They're going to take your passport and all this. But I didn't tell him I was in the military. Now, you know, I just got in my car and left and ran off. But, man, it's coming to a point where, you know, I don't like whites, I don't like Arabs, I don't like, and you know, and it's like I didn't used to be the type of person, but it's like, it's only so much a brother can take, man.
I just, and Sam, you said, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I hate desert rats, man. I can't, you know, I don't like Europeans at all. You know, I can't have a degree of hatred any worse than what this evil, wicked European is. But I ain't gonna lie. I can honestly say I probably had the same hatred for the desert rats that I do the devils. Man, I ain't gonna say a lot. I've been to places where they are. I hate the stench of a desert rat. So I definitely understand how you smack him upside his head. And truthfully and honestly, we really gonna have to deal with them too. They'd probably be second in line only because of the situation worldwide. But for our brothers and sisters in the Sudan that's dealing with these desert rats, they got to clean the rats out of the society because it's real dirty. And if you knew the things, not you especially, but the people out there listening, matter of fact, that's one of the programs we're going to do. We're going to do a program on the Arab Islamic enslavement of African people and the Arab torture of African people worldwide today. So we can just show, we're talking about a couple, since 700. So we're talking about 1,700 to 1,000. We're talking over 1,400 years or so of just, and it's going on right now, of torture that's going on in enslavement, cutting off the testicles of black men on a massive scale to create eunuchs. And the kind of torture that the Arabs have done and are doing to black people, honestly, if you make an honest assessment of it, it's going to sound crazy. It can easily be argued that it's worse than the regular cracker. You know, so it's you could argue that the desert rat is worse than the European. I'm not going to say that, but of course I live in a place where the Europeans rule, so nothing can be worse than the European to me. But the desert rat is a beast all into himself, and they really pretty much the same side of the coin, just a rat and a desert rat. You know, one is in the desert, they rats, either way you look at it. But excellent call, my brother. You want to say anything in closing?
Yeah, you know, I wanted to also say that, you know, man, this, you know, this last thing with these 2 police killings, you know, this is really turning a lot of Negro type blacks who are really not really into anything. You know, they were just trying to play neutral, you know, and now it's like, it's just making the average black person just radical, you know, man. Because I'm saying, man, you know, because I just left the basketball court just out hooping, playing ball, and it's like, you know, it's just like average black people talking about, man, fuck these cops. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Yeah. But, you know, F these cops, this and that. And I'm like, dang, you know, man, but these are the same people who would be talking about, you know, silliness before. So, yeah, man, you know, man, I think this, you know, this energy can be used, you know, in the right way. That's all I got to say. Straight black pride. Straight black pride.
I really appreciate what the brother just said. I agree with him wholeheartedly. And I've actually noticed the same thing our brother just said. I got people who are not quote unquote stereotypical, what we would call conscious black people or revolutionary black people, whatever the term you want to use. And it's really interesting. I'm gonna be honest with you. The people in the Pan-African or the nationalist community kind of scared to take a position. Most of what I'm hearing is it's a false flag, which I'm not blaming them for, because I can understand how a person can think that. So even to be honest, before I thought about it and I talked to another brother, called me from North Carolina, we kind of chopped it up. I was leaning that way because it just fits. Before I look deeply into it, just the tagline of it fits what they've been wanting to do to make love for self in the African-centered community look like terrorism or classified as terrorism. So it fits in that regard. But the way, when you look deep into it, no, it don't fit. But I can see where that person can make the argument. But I'm also noticing a little bit of, you know, you smell a little sucker on these banners. I'm gonna just keep it real, because I'm starting to smell a little sucker on people. It's like they're afraid to glorify a black man who stood up and fought to defend our community. I'm like, oh, okay, so your African nationalism is subject and limited to a book you can read and some words you can say out of a book, or talking about race warriors of the past who did something yesterday. It doesn't extend to having the respect, courage, and commitment to your race to be able to show that same kind of love and reverence and appreciation real time when a black person, 25-year-old young brother, loses their life in the effort to protect our community. They get no love. And I'm starting to know they just suckers type. But the average brothers and sisters, because now they don't got all this knowledge and information, they see the terrorism. They don't know to call it terrorism, but they see the murders of our people and they know, man, we under siege. They like, something's got to happen. Then the brother goes out there and give them that work, and they like, that's what I'm talking about. And they ain't gonna say it because they don't want to lose their job. But like when you talking to them, they're not all confused, which tells me, I'll be honest, we got too many suckers. It's not really suckers, okay? We got too many intellectual people who won't push the button in the movement. Or maybe that's not the case. Maybe because we need them too. Everybody's not a button pusher. Everybody don't bang like that, but they have what they bring that is great value. Let me take that back. Because everybody we got this sincere in this movement is needed. We don't have enough real people. When I mean real, I mean not that the rest of us are not real, but I mean practical, everyday brothers and sisters that say, yeah, this is something right. I believe in this. And again, I've been saying this, you can't have something like that when it's not mature. If you N-word and every other word is a curse word, you vulgar, you're not going to attract serious-minded people. I'm going to be honest. I come from cursing and all that, and I've N-worded more than anybody. There's nobody out there that has used the word more in a space of time than I did. I know the transition has to occur in order to put serious people into doing serious things. If you're serious, you got to do what it takes. And we don't have enough serious people because we haven't made this thing attractive enough for people to come. Some people will listen now because their minds are open, but they're not going to, serious people, they're not going to listen to a bunch of grabbing your crotch, penis grabbing bravado that amounts to nothing. Again, look at the killers. We listened to, we heard what they said, our brother Micah said. We listened to our brother Omar Thornton. We listened to him. Yeah, I'm Omar Thornton. I'm the killer here. And these people were very racist. They treat us bad. He didn't use he wasn't yelling or screaming, no profanity. He didn't get all out of pocket. He's like, look, I bang. I show you how I feel. I let this thing go. I got some bodies around here, and I wish I'd have got some more. You know, this is wrong what you're doing. Stop doing it. You know, I mean, real calmly, And I don't think anybody didn't meet his point. I mean, I watched the way the whites respond when we march and all this stuff. They're real. Oh, this is just. They ain't responding on my phone like this. I was listening to him on the phone. And he's effing killing people. I mean, he's effing killing them. I'm like, well, calm down, guy. You know, aren't you that tough white guy that abuses people on the job, or that white female who it's not on time? No, you told me to have it then. No, but she's real. I'm so scared. And I'm like, dang, you know, what happened to Penelope? She was like, she's not the same. She was Wendy before, and now she's Penelope. Like, she's really soft and warm and scared and very feminine. I'm like, what accounts for that? I don't know. You know, it changes. And I think that this brother is making some people think. There's some whites that are thinking, do I want my wife or son or family to die like this, where I can say whatever I want in words, but I really feel like it's just because these people are getting an unfair shake. And I saw it in the Minnesota mayor in Minnesota. That European, he couldn't even lie to himself. He couldn't even make his European self lie to his European self. He said if he was white Anglo-Saxon, he'd still be alive. He said black people have something to deal with in the society that is more than what we're dealing with. And it's just realistic. And now with the bodies dropping like that and with the recognition, because what nobody's talking about, I don't know if y'all know, there have been about 4 other shootings of police officers. One happened right before that. Another brother somewhere shot 4 whites. I think he only killed 1 though. And then somebody else shooting up. It's like, this is not just one isolated incident. They're brothers that can't take it. It's not that black men don't strike back, it's that we don't tell the stories, which is why it's so important tonight that we're the leaders. I want you to understand, when you're tuning to One Horizon Radio, when you're tuning to Straight Black Pride Movement Radio, you're not tuned into something that's a follower group. You're tuned into the leadership. Who have you heard having the dialogue on this level, given the appropriate assessment of our brother and his military background, his assessment of the terrorism that we're facing? All of us have seen and understand the terrorism, and to break down the fact that this is a hero, a war hero for African people, and that we must elevate him to this level. Where have you heard a mature dialogue like this? You haven't, and you're not until we do it. Now you'll start hearing it, and that's okay. We're not asking people to always get it right. That's our job. If we can't provide leadership and guidance and vision for people to see and get it right, then what good am I? I'm gonna talk. I'm not gonna go out there and Micah Johnson you. I ain't got that kind of fierceness, but I can give you the information and the right perspective that'll help you navigate this society, which can be just as valuable. I ain't gonna say in the moment it was just as valuable, but it's very valuable. So let me do my part. Let Brother Micah do his part, and your part is to take the instruction. Yeah, Jeannie was right. One Horizon, they right. We got to show this brother elevated love. To be honest with you, the appropriate way would have been if 1,000 black people or 10,000 went up on Facebook and all put him. Notice, I didn't play games with it. Yeah, I'm on Facebook. Yeah, they're watching, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they're watching me. If they kill anybody, they don't kill me before they do you. But our people get so scared. I'm not telling you to lose your job putting it up there, but I'm being honest. If everybody put that picture up there, it's nothing they could do. You know, target 1,000, but you can't do it. But our people are so scared and terrified to love the very thing that we claim we want. People, when a brother's going to strike back. Okay, now you got a brother who did it. Now what? I don't hear the war horns, but I hear him here on One Horizon tonight. Let me go. 1559. Praise Nat Turner. Glory. Praise Nat Turner in the resurrected spirit of our warrior, Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey. And long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Come on in and talk to us.
Praise Nat Turner in the resurrected spirit of our warrior king, Micah Xavier Johnson. I had to breathe off of that one. Glory to Garvey, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. What's up, Jeannie? It's Keisha. How you doing, bro?
Oh, the warrior queen. And let me just back up. Let me give myself some room, because I know the bomb's about to drop. All right, come on in here. Say, hey, y'all dealing with a warrior now. I know the queen is about to drop it. Let me zip the lip and let her go.
I just want to say that, first off, we do have and we must honor this warrior. He is a martyr. He is a god.
God came before you in a person and set fire to a white supremacist system. And as you mentioned earlier, Dr. Millie Fuller, in his detailed explanation of the system of white supremacy, Denmark Vesey, just before they struck out, just before they captured this brother. If you read Dr. Gloria J. Brown's Marshall, Race, Law, and American Society, on page 87, Denmark Vesey said that freedom is not going to come through politics. Freedom is not going to come through voting. Freedom is not going to come through pleading with white folks. We have to take it. And he decided to take it. When you think about Micah Xavier Johnson, you think about, as you said, our brother Omar Thorne in his detailed manifesto of what was happening to him in the area in which he lived. And you think about Christopher Dorner, left the same manifesto as Mark Essex. Colin Ferguson said the exact same words to journalist Utrice Lee before he went on that Long Island Railroad train to wage his sword for freedom. And I had the pleasure of speaking with this brother. He was incarcerated in the same penitentiary that a relative of mine was incarcerated. And he had a Muslim festival. And he invited not just Muslims who were in the penitentiary, but all people who was in the penitentiary. And so I had the pleasure of sitting next to Colin Ferguson. And I recognized his face immediately. And I offered a greeting to him. And he and I began to dialogue, sitting right there in the prison yard. And this brother was as clear and concise as any man could possibly be. He said, what other recourse do we have here? If we continue to plead to a system that not only won't give us justice, but at the same time starving us, what are we to do? What are we to do? And so I left it at that, but I always remember that conversation. And I have to say this, when I lecture, I often tell about my greatest pleasure in my life. Now, I went to, at that time, a predominantly white school as a high school here in Brooklyn. In a well-to-do Caucasian neighborhood. When I say Caucasian, I mean just that. I got picked up by police every day because we had to walk a 17-block stretch from the subway station to that school. They now have a bus line, but back then you didn't. And when you got off that subway, all the black children were picked up every day. Whether you were late, early, on time, didn't matter. We were picked up, put in police vans, driven to the school. At that time, police officers made an extra cut for every truancy that they picked up. So they made money off of picking us up every day going to school. Like I said, I went to a predominantly white school in an area well known and controlled by the Russian mob. Mm. And at that time, you either fought or you got the crap beat out of you. And I have never been a runner. So I had to fight a lot of white girls who thought they was about it because they dated the guys who were in this Russian mob. The greatest pleasure I ever had in life was choking the hell out of crackers. That is a great pleasure that most of us don't know. A lot of us are afraid to put hands, especially when a threat is posed upon us. And I see it every day when you ride the subway here in New York City. White folks have this angst about them, this attitude now that they have pretty much taken over the inner cities now. They pretty much taken over. So they have this attitude like they would just bump you, roll eyes at you, I had a white woman on a subway, the C train in Brooklyn on a Wednesday evening, stand up and call a brother all types of N-words, all just yelling it out. And people were sitting on the subway like in shock, but didn't want to move because this was a white woman. I flew into action. Period. The end. Made sure the brother got out of that subway station while me and other sisters who were there handled that white woman. Period. The end. We have to stop this fear. If Black folk today boycott the national election, don't take part in voting, whether you're Democrat or Republican, in the national election, because it's already we lose. We haven't won it in 44 presidents. We ain't winning in this one. What we have to do now is take control of local politics. And by doing that, what I mean by that is not just your governor and your mayor. I'm talking about the city council, your district leaders, your aldermen. Take control, meaning whoever you put in or vote for in that office, you should be at their office consistently. We have an agenda, you agree to this, now do it or else. The Congressional Black Caucus that is in Congress right now, they must be dead. We have to get rid of them.
That's right.
We send them notice, it's a wrap for all of y'all. We have to be strategic. Stay out of main, we call retail chain stores if possible. Boycott is very important right now. Very important. We have to capitalize on what Brother Micah has already set in motion. Prepare yourself. In particular, sisters, get healthy in body and mind, because if you think it's hot now and we just beginning with the summer, it's about to pop off. Be careful of who you align yourself with, because there are a lot of snitches out here. Number one, when you're talking about gangster hip hop, that's snitch music to me, because all they do is doing a bunch of snitching on themselves and everybody else in the game. So that's snitch music to me. That's what I call it. But align yourself with people who are like-minded. When you hear Warner Horizon Radio, that should be passed on to other people. Go to the archives one Sunday morning when our people was lining up and going into the churches. Put some speakers in the window and turn on Warner Horizon Radio. We have to permeate the neighborhoods we currently live in. Consistently, just like you see on news media, they keep replaying the same thing over and over and over. We have things in our arsenal that we can use. Adam Clayton Powell said it best. What is in your hands? So we have technology in our hands right now, and we can pass this information on and wake as many people up as we possibly can, as far as voting is concerned, as far as politics is concerned, as far as the legal game is concerned, and military science is a must. So we got work to do, and it's time to capitalize off our hero right now.
Well, look, as I said, the Warrior Queen is called. I'm going to shut up because I knew I wasn't going to be disappointed. And I love everything you said and agree with it wholeheartedly. One thing I do have to admit, can I admit, because all brothers, we none of us are perfect. We all fall short of the glory of Amen. Can I admit something to you?
Yes, sir.
I'm green right now. I'm so jealous that you got a chance to sit next to Colin Ferguson. I'm sitting here trying not to hate, trying not to show any type of form of sign of hatred. But let me tell you something. I actually wrote a letter to the prison where he was to do an interview with him years ago. And I got to the last part where they were saying, you media, you want to interview him, we'll see. And they never got back to me. They wouldn't let me come. And I mean, you don't understand how proud I was going to be to do that. And to hear you say you got a chance to do that, oh, man, I'm happy for you, but I'm a little bit jealous. I ain't going to lie.
Actually, I was sitting with him, David Berkowitz, and Robert Chambers, all at the same table. All at the same table in the prison yard. So I got a lot of information that day going to visit a relative and taking part in that Muslim festival. So this is what I mean. We got to permeate every avenue we possibly can, because you never know what information you find, how you find it. And as you know, Brother Genie, I have been keeping a record of 100 lynchings continued. And it takes a lot of footwork and energy to keep this information. As I said to our listeners on Straight Black Talk, eventually I'll be putting this in a book form. But
let me ask you a question. I ain't mean to cut you off, but you do know that they lynched the brother last week in Piedmont Park in Atlanta.
Absolutely. I was alerted immediately from people in Georgia when that took place.
Okay.
And had forwarded that information out. But not just him, but another sister that I found in Pennsylvania. So, and this was a couple of months ago.
And let me do this. We got a lot of people that have called in that they want to say something, so I got to kind of move on. But tell people about your program. Tomorrow night, first of all, brother, we're going to have Tuesday night, we're going to have the family of Alton Sterling is going to be on Brother EJ's program, Straight Black Sports. So tomorrow night, 7 to 10 p.m., same place, Straight Black Pride Radio. You're going to be able to hear the Alton Sterling family discuss that murder. That's the brother that you saw that was in Baton Rouge. And then on Thursday night, we're going to have Sister Keisha and Brother Tad on Straight Black Talk. Could you tell us what y'all going to be talking about on Thursday night, 7 to 10 p.m.?
Yes, we're going to continue this conversation, but our featured guest, well, we have two guests. One is the mother of Eric Garner's youngest child and activities that they're going to have here in New York and what's happening with the family and, you know, what is the vision. And then we're going to talk with our brother Abraham Baldwin, who was the first African-American Secret Service appointed to the White House. And he worked in the Kennedy administration. And he is going to break down what happened with him because he was eventually incarcerated. And we'll talk about his book, Echo at Dealey Square, and the state of policing now and how we should move as a people right now. Okay. And what better what better person to discuss this with than the first man to serve in Secret Service in the White House. So it's going to be interesting.
All right. Well, we'll be tuned in Thursday night, 7 to 10 p.m. So that's tomorrow night, brothers and sisters, on Straight Black Sports, 7 to 10 p.m. They're going to be talking about the Alton Sterling family and the murder of our brother in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And then Thursday night, Sister Keisha and Brother Tad, they're going to be talking about the same discussion. You'll be listening to the first Secret Service agent and hear what this brother has to say about what things are going on. And he can give us a little background and some perspective as well from someone who worked on the inside at one time. Thank you, sister. Keep doing what you're doing. Straight Black Pride.
Straight Black Pride, King, and stay well.
Yes, ma'am. All right. That's our sister soldier. That's our queen right here. Let me go down. I'm going to ask brothers and sisters to move a little bit faster because I got a lot of people on the line. We probably going to go over a little bit tonight because I can tell people are excited. We're going to make sure everybody that wants to speak gets to speak tonight. So just hang on tight with us. We're going 8231, 2047, 8746, 9329. Anonymous call, 4718, 3197, 9280, 3253. That's the order we going. So let's go down and knock these things out. 8231, praise Nat Turner in the resurrected spirit of our brother Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Praise Nat Turner in the resurrection and spirit of our dear brother Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. How you doing, brother Genie?
Fantastic, my brother. Come on in here, bring that West Side.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Make it real quick and short. You know, this brother, he's definitely a hero. You know what I'm saying? And he should not be forgotten. You know what I'm saying? He should be among the other heroes like Nat Turner, Gabriel Prosser, Denmark BC. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely a soldier. And, you know, I wish that it was more brothers like him that out really to fight, not just talking, bumping their gums, you know. And I noticed with
the so-called black leadership and conscious community, they just talk. They really not gonna do nothing. They really not about that life, you know. And I just want to give a shout out to him. And I also want to add that you know, you talked about Idi Amin as being a soldier on the African continent. We gotta mention our beloved brother that was a warrior in the continent as well. That was Haile Selassie. You know, he was so sophisticated with it, just getting rid of all those Italians.
Let me, and I don't want to nitpick on this one, but just in the interest of more in line with what we're talking about, Haile Selassie wouldn't really be the individual in Ethiopia most appropriate for this conversation. That'd probably be Menelik II. He's a little bit more in line with the kind of freedom fighting that we're talking about tonight. I don't want to get into why and everything like that. I just want to say that for the people that would know that. Really, you want to look up Menelik II and Queen P-2. Those were two freedom fighters that was really in that vein of kind of what we're talking about to now. If you're talking about the country of Ethiopia, even Tewodros, even. But definitely Menelik II and Queen P-2, who were actually the ones that really went out on the battlefield and fought the Italians.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for the correction of that.
Yes, sir. No problem. No problem. All right, brother.
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
the call tonight. Appreciate all your support when we come out West Side, and we still working with people now to make some things happen over there on the West Side. So we're gonna get some things done. All right, my brother.
Yes, sir. And thank you for giving me that DVD of the special relationship between blacks and small hats. I saw that to its entirety. And I'm in 100% agreement with the brother Body Shot. He laid some blows on that.
That's
so
right.
Thank you for that, brother.
Appreciate you, my brother. Yeah, I would tell everybody, Straight Black Pride, brother. You want to get that Body Shots lecture, you can go to warnhorizon.com. You can get the electronic download, Secret Relationship Between Black Leaders and Small Hats. I'm not going to lie. We've done a lot of work here. Most of them I've done, all of them I've done. That's the only one I didn't do. And his is as good as any one of those ones according to what people's interests are. Some people would say is the best one. I ain't gonna go that far. Put nobody above the genie, but that he put that work on that secret relationship between black leaders and small hats. You want to check that out. Let me go to 2047. Praise Nat Turner and the resurrected spirit of our beloved brother, warrior, and martyr, Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Praise Nat Turner in the resurrection. Praise Nat Turner in the resurrected spirit of Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. This is Alicia, and the sister, she pretty much cleared everything while I was waiting. The young lady that the sister you referred to as Sister Soldier.
Oh yeah, Sister Keisha, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, she laid everything out, you know. So all I have left is just to leave a few words of encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being a mama of son and a new grandmother, my son has recently had a son.
Mm.
When I see the lives being put out on social media and the news about Brother Micah, and the things that they're trying to, I see that they're trying to ignite something. All I want to say is for everyone, I say this all the time, to get your family trained mentally and physically. It's a must, because whether we want anything to happen, it's going to happen. But the best thing that you can do is not to fear and embrace the fact that we all go one day. And that's what keeps me from fearing. Because if I were to die today or tomorrow, I want to do it fighting. I don't just want to do it hiding in my home. And that's what I teach my sons. Don't do it hiding in the home. Do it, you know, get training. There are, you know, the officer was calling the one in Dallas, the
he's the black man, the chief, or whoever he's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
He was calling for, he's announcing that he's hired. You know, I would like to see all of our soldiers connect, you know. I don't know if anyone caught on my broadcast that we should lose the labels, the titles for just a second, you know, because that's how they keep up with us. Everything we do is not their business. Our next move is not their business, you know. I'm saying it now, certainly, but I'm going to put this out there. Lose the title. Fall off the map, you know. And I'm going to leave that there. But they're trying to push us into something. We can either be victims or we can be warriors, you know, protect the young and the old. So just don't worry, don't fear. You know, I see a lot of talk about martial law. We got brothers and sisters that went to the service because they want to look out for their loved ones. Don't worry about martial law. There's no martial law without the soldiers. Mm. You know, and it bothers me about that. And I want to also say to the brother, I'm not kicking with the brother or nothing that was just on that was conscious, the so-called conscious community. Everybody who knows of Kemet is not a fake, you know. So I like to correct people when they say things like that. Because
he didn't say all. He said a lot of these people. He didn't say all of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah. So, well, that's it. And I expect that I did help somebody.
Yes, ma'am.
So, and I enjoyed discussion tonight. You all take care.
All right. Take care, sister. We appreciate you. Straight Black Pride.
Straight Black Pride.
You know, the sister said something. I want to kind of go off on it. Then I'm going to go right to 9329. She said something I think is very important. In fact, it's a conversation we had this weekend. And I want everybody to hear this correctly. Do not misunderstand me. I, as much as any black man, have venom and hatred and bitterness and resentment towards the brutality of police officers in a society towards black people. I mean, as much as anybody. But I recognize the importance of having our people in certain positions. And I say that to say, if I was a police officer, you ain't got to worry about getting brutalized out in the street. It just don't work that way. But the sister said, I think is incredibly important. I don't want black people to start believing and trusting police officers in general. That's not what I'm saying. Please hear me. I am saying we need some Micah Xavier Johnsons on the police force. So if the police chief is saying they're hiring, we need some of the brothers that are really, really hard in this thing and know who they are. We need you there, because instead of having these terrorist cells operating independently within the police force and nobody can identify them, who better to identify them and protect the community against them from within than you? So don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that I support the police, but I'm saying it makes sense to have some of us, since we know that they have terrorist cells there, to be able to identify these terrorists and then to fight them from within and to protect the community as well, and to use that authority given to protect the interests of our community. And for those that are already in there, you need to start groups with only the trusted and most trusted, or even that way, because they're going to snitch if you do it that way. Just open the Black Officers Union or whatever, like they have in New York, 100 black police officers that care, or law enforcement officers that care. And these are some real soldiers. I'm that lack of trust we have in law enforcement, don't misunderstand me. I have that too, but I met these brothers and I felt like a sucker. I was like, man, I got to step my game up. I got to put that weight up. Because they talking more pro-black than me. I'm like, hold up. I'm on the horizon. You a police, you a pig, I was like, I better not call them a pig. They look like they'll punch you, you know what I'm saying? And not care about it. Then they can arrest you and claim that you did it too. So you got to be careful with some of these guys. But anyway, my point being, we got to start getting sophisticated. We got to be everywhere that there's power, to know everything that's going on, to be able to do whatever needs to be done in any situation. Like our brother. Yeah, Micah Xavier Johnson, he went to the military. Why would you go to the crackers military? To learn how to identify terrorists, to come back and then to execute terrorists that are trying to kill your people, which is really according to U.S. law, it was legal. Again, you know, when they misrepresent what he did as some act of violence or something like that and take it out of context, it may not be. But in terms of the context of black people being under a state of terrorism now, which we all can agree with, I mean, I don't think anybody confused about that. And this gentleman being trained to identify and fighting terrorism, domestic terrorism, and acts of terrorism, it was actually not only legal, it was the right thing to do in the sense that I feel a little bit safer with him doing it. I feel like if this terrorism continues to go this way, that they're trained black people who are going to step up and help defend our community. And if it means going to a bloodshed and just hunting down everybody that we even think, like the sister said, if collateral damage, if we think you're a terrorist, we're going to kill you in the defense of African life. I feel like there are people out there that can lead something like that. I'm not trained in that. So I don't know how to identify these folks. But we do know that they're terrorists because we're seeing the terrorism occur in the black community. Now we need people with those skills to be able to show us, how do we identify them? How do we isolate them? How do we kill them? And how do we do it? And then we need our legal people to come say, how do we do this in the context of the Patriot Act and of the Second Amendment and the First Amendment and just within the legality of the laws of the land, so that we're doing something that's legal and defending the lives of our community and ending terrorism against the black world community. We got 12 more minutes that we're going to be on air. We're going to go longer because I'm going to let everybody get a chance to see what they want to say. But I mean, we got 12 minutes before, if you're not listening on the phone number, which is 347-850-1836. If you're watching, it's no problem. You'll be able to watch through the entire program. But if you're listening on Blog Talk, no, if you're listening on your computer and you're not watching on your computer, you're just listening on your device, it's going to go off of the internet. You're going to have to call in. So within the next 11 minutes, you want to call in 347-850-1836. That's 347-850-1836. Call in so that you can hear all the entire program. Or you can just go ahead to the internet link and watch it. And if you're watching it, then you can go ahead and watch to the end. Let me go to Cincinnati. Praise Nat Turner in the spirit of our brother Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Praise Nat Turner and the resurrected spirit of our warrior, Michael Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. I bear witness there is no other God but Amen. What up?
There's no God but He.
What up,
Amen. There's no God but Amen. And on the temples in Kemet, Amen has the smite to the Sultan to say, if you want to be worthy of being the ruler and the Sultan of the land, the king, the ruler, you got to kill your enemies in order for your spiritual spirit to resurrect and be reach the authority to be a leader of your people. So our brother is a Sultan and Amen loves him. Come on, talk to me, Cincinnati.
You brought some more clarity to me because I really ain't, I've been really working a lot, cutting a lot of hair and stuff, so I ain't really been able to look into it. So you brought a little bit more clarity of the situation. I knew the brother had military training the way they said he set it up. And it was explaining how he just basically hit him in a box and shoot. So I said, the brother got to have some type of training because nobody just think like that. But I just wish the brother would have, just been able to stick around and teach that to some kids. We need like little small units in all these little neighborhoods of guys with a UFC style fighting that know that type of training and also know how to make bombs, also know how to shoot guns, different caliber weapons. Our young boys would definitely love to be a part of something like that. But people with the correct information and the skills are really not there trying to get that out.
When I hear you saying, the way I'm hearing what you're saying is that we need a terrorist defense league that trains people in the community how to protect Black lives against terrorism. So no matter what form that terrorism takes, we would have brothers and sisters in the community who are trained to defend the community so that no one would be able to come in and terrorize the community, and the community would feel safe. And I think that's reasonable and that's realistic. Only thing is, again, I have to say, be honest, it will require us to take a different cultural perspective. We're not going to be calling our women bees and hoes and each other N-words and actually build something to defend the interests of it. It's not going to happen. We're not going to be listening to music talking about killing each other and our boys being homosexual, letting pedophile. We got to clean up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I would say this too, like some of those people want to go. So, you know, everybody can't come to the other side. Some of those people want to go. So, you know.
Yeah. It would be. Go ahead.
What was you saying? What was you saying, General?
I was just agreeing with you. It would benefit us if a lot of people involved in certain types of behavior would not be in our community at all. I think I agree with you. Go ahead.
And I just felt like, man, it would just been real nice to have some of that brother's skill set and that information that brother had.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking just like you. It's like one of those things where the fire is blazing and you're like, oh man, I wish you wouldn't have gone out because we could do this, that, and the other. But at least we have the example and the prototype of once you get this training and information, and once you identify, you know, how you operate. I don't know if you know this, but, and I can't verify this, but according to a couple of the accounts of the people who were on the ground, and a couple of times when I watched the news report this, it appears that he didn't just go up there and start shooting out a thing. It appears he drove up in a police car or some kind of vehicle. It was reported by some that it was a police car. He jumped out of the police car and started dropping them on the street, like face to face, hitting them, bang, 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 bang. Then he retreated to a spot and started dropping them from above. So, yeah, we talking about that straight, like the brothers in the hood would call it G-type stuff. Like he wasn't hiding and playing games. Not that it was wrong to do that, but he went up and said, "Hey, terrorists, no more!" Bam, right to the face. Matter of fact, one of them, they was I don't know, maybe 10, 15 feet away from each other, 20 feet or so, and they actually have the video where he ran towards the brother, and the brother, because he was trying to shoot him, and the brother just dropped him right there, bam, let him go. Yeah.
Man, that makes me feel good, though, man. Makes me feel good that somebody standing up. And I mean, it just, for real, just irks me, man, that I ain't got this type of skill set.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know what? There are thousands, if not tens of thousands, of brave Black men and women who are now being awakened to the fact that our community is under terrorist siege. And they now have a place, Warn the Horizon, and other places they want to call and say, hey, when you're dealing with terrorism, this is what you look for. This is how you identify terrorists. This is how you can identify terrorists who've infiltrated a group. We actually need a specialist like that to actually do a program. How do we, when a police officer comes to the scene, how do you assess whether or not you're dealing with an actual police officer who's there to do their job and keep the community safe and they don't mean any harm, or you're dealing with a terrorist whose objective it is to take your life? How do you identify them? How do you make the decision of how you defend yourself in that type of situation? Because these brothers and sisters didn't have a chance. They thought that these were police officers, which means they were in a good setting. This is somebody that's trying to make sure things are okay. They were coming up to check out what's going on. And the next thing they know, bam, they're getting dropped, getting killed, murdered, with children in the car. I mean, terrorism at its most extreme level. And they didn't have any preparation. How are our people supposed to tell that? We need people to give us information of how to do that.
I know the brother was probably thinking, man, I wish I would have got a little bit more of it.
He said that. He said that. No, he said that. No, he said that. No, they reported that he said, I wish I could have gotten more of them. He actually said, they reported that he said that. Matter of fact, they said he was laughing at them. He was singing some song. I really want to know the song he was singing. I mean, I can't, I hope they put the audio out. I really want to hear the song the brother was singing. I can't imagine what the song would be, but I don't know if he was singing the Hate Produce. I don't know what he was singing, but they said he also said he was laughing at them, but he was like, how many of them did I get? How many of them did I get? I wish I would have got more. So it was like he was on a spiritual high, like he felt like he was slaying demons. He was bathing in the blood of demons, and he felt like his spirit was righteous at that moment, that he was trying to free his people and destroy the demons that are executing his race. And he was singing, man, the sounds of the freedom fighters' joy. So I can't wait to hear the tape if it ever comes out.
Dang, man. That was oh yeah, man. I also wanted to give you a thumbs up on the work you did with Hidden Colors 4. You know what I mean? I know you ghostwrited that thing. I'm like, hey, man, somebody just stole the playbook.
Yo, let me ask you. This is an honest question. I got to be honest with you. How long was it in it before you start feeling that way? How long was you in Hidden Colors 4 before you was like, I know this playbook?
Because I was watching the scenario of the stuff they was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, the menstruals and the NAACP thing. And I'm like, hold on, man. This kind of, and that's my favorite lecture. You can't even sniff around that lecture. That's my favorite lecture of all time.
Which one?
I mean that's the code. You can't be around that lecture and not smell it out.
Which lecture? Which lecture?
Because they know that lecture is like.
Which one?
Like one of the most slept on.
Which lecture you talking about?
The entertainment joint.
Okay, fighting the poltergeist. Okay.
Right. I was like, man, because that joint, man. And it brings me so happy right now. And something that we all do. I don't care who you are. Everybody listen at TV.
That's right. So.
Or you look at the magazines or something. You get influenced by propaganda in some way.
That's right. So how long were you in it before you realized, yo, this is one horizon? How long was it? Like half an hour in, or how long was it in?
About 25 seconds.
So it didn't take long before you started seeing it.
Right.
What about why you got?
Nobody brought this type of. I've never seen that type of information brought to the forefront about the menstrual shows, and I'm like, hold on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I actually, in this case, I'm really happy because even though we put the information out, the truth is we haven't had as much exposure to get it out as they have with this. So if it's a way to get the information out for our people, it's good as far as I'm concerned. Even though to me, when I try to share stuff, if I'm getting something from somewhere, I always try to at least throw the person's name in there somewhere because somebody else may go and get something different from that source than I do. I ain't gonna lie, I don't usually, but this one, it was such bordering on plagiarism in terms of just the whole format that I was like, I gotta tell our people to watch it. But I felt a little kind of way. I'm like, hey, you could at least.
You should be flattered.
Yeah.
Flattery, didn't it?
I think so. I think they say that.
They know you're the best. And this dude right here is smoking hot right now. We got to somehow get a hold of some of this information.
So they went to jacking, huh? That's all right. You know what? If it's jacking in the name of liberation, I could take it. Nah, that's it,
brother. Straight black pride. We put cracker police in the trunk. Nice.
Somebody had to do it. All right, brother. Straight black pride. That's it. That's our brother from Cincinnati. He says somebody got to go in that trunk. Let's go to 3253. Praise Nat Turner in the spirit of our brother Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Praise Nat Turner and the resurrected spirit of Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey, along with the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. How you doing, Jeannie?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good. How about you, my brother?
Good. I just wanted to drop a couple things, and I wrote it down, so I'll be real quick.
Yes, sir.
I remember in the lecture you gave, you taught us that you and your enemies should not have the same heroes. Mm-hmm. I also saw on the news how some agents were protesting, trying to act like they're on our side and everything, but
they're still invading Africa and trying to siphon off our resources. And I want people to continue to boycott because a lot of us were already doing that and continue to be entrepreneurs. And finally, I just want to know, and I don't know if you can, if we should talk about this on this type of forum, but how do we fight these terrorists and continue to bring the fight to the small hats? How can we pit, the crackers against the small hats? Because, I know the Black Panthers back in the day, they got caught in this cycle of just, fighting the pigs and things like that. And I don't want us to get caught in that again without losing sight on who are, who's pulling the strings. I know we got to bring it to these crackers, but we also got to remember who's pulling the strings.
Let me ask you a question, and I mean this with all respect. How old are you, brother?
I am 33, sir.
All right, young man, let me tell you something. First of all, I'm extremely proud. I don't do this information to hear myself talk. What you just said, and what you just see, this is the kind of serious intellectual dialogue and consideration we need. Let me answer your question. This program was designed exactly for what you just said. Let me show you the battlefield. See, some people are listening and learning. This makes me proud. It means that if I leave here tomorrow, we're going to win because you got it. Okay. This is what we're faced with. This is what we're faced with. Let me draw the battlefield for people so you can see what we're faced with. The small hats are trying to create a race war between Black people and the Anglo-Saxon for two reasons. One, they're just trying to take over the world, a multitude of reasons. They're doing a whole world domination, global depopulation, all that kind of stuff. But then there's something else going on. The white Anglo-Saxons that are sophisticated recognize small hat Zionist domination of this country and the world. And they're infuriated. And they're ready to pop and go let these small hats have it. So what the small hats are doing in order to disarm the white Anglo-Saxons is they've taken over the governmental system and they're creating the laws like the Patriot Act and these other laws and everything for the purpose of disarming the white masses who are their major detractors that are going to go physically to war with them very soon if things play out right. So in order to prevent the whites to get the time to go and fight with us, what the small hats are doing is they're creating this gay stuff for Black people, but then they're also creating the Black Lives Matter stuff to put them in front of the nationalist, genuine African movement to get the real genuine body politic of brothers in the street that's ready to fight. The small hats jump in with the gay live Black Lives Matter thing and then point our people to the Anglo-Saxons to go fight. I'm gonna say it again. You get something like the Mike Brown situation where a brother was murdered by these extremist terrorist Euro-Anglos. Murdered, pow, he's murdered. The brothers in the neighborhood are upset and angry, ready to do something. They're already getting together, but they don't know what to do and how to do it. But they got a lot of energy. The small hats finance and put the homosexuals and the Black this and the Black that in front of it. Get all that energy taken out to go face to face with the police. And now creating the disturbance of the Black masses, taking our energy instead of building our own communities up and fighting our own battles, giving legitimacy to the need for martial law, which then when they say that martial law needs to be enacted, they can enact that on the white Anglo-Saxons and the real militant Black masses. But then they can also, so that none of us are fighting them, have the Black brothers in the street pointed at the racist white supremacists in battle too. So they're creating a kumbaya, we are the world thing with the gay stuff, and at the same time creating a we hate the whiteys, yeah, we hate the Blacks, and getting the Anglo-Saxon white extremist separatists to be fighting with the nationalists. And that way, all of their enemies are in classes with each other. How do we fight it? Excellent question. How do we do it? We take the example of someone like a Micah Xavier Johnson. We promote that under the guise of what they're giving us, nationalism, red, black, and green, which is separatist from whites. But then under that guise, we do not say, hey, our objective is to go out and fight it. We don't become terrorists. We actually give it a different description of what we're doing. We, as African people, particularly now that everybody's watching it, we are facing terrorism. And it's undermining and causing a genocide amongst our people here in America. And by gosh, we even see something similar going on in West Papua with the Indonesian government trying to exterminate our black brothers and sisters there. And we have to now understand who the terrorists are that are destroying the black community. And the first terrorists we see are some terrorists who've infiltrated the government. We've seen the videos of them executing black people. But then we also have the media assassinating the character of black people and pulling black people and drawing us into things that are destructive. And we also have these homosexual and pedophile stuff that they're trying to push and destroy the children in our community. And so now we have to say, wait a minute, who's behind all of this? And as we look further, what we see, wow, as much as the white nationalists hate us and we hate them too, they're not actually the ones that are behind all of this. There's actually a larger group. As we're getting ourselves prepared to defend ourselves against terrorism and organizing our people, there's really an evil being that's trying to really get us to go fight the white nationalists who want to separate from us, and we want to be separate from them too. Guess who it is? Wow. Who is behind the Black Lives Matter? Wow. Trying to take over the black nationalist push or the street push to get justice. It's a bunch of small hats. Wow. Who's behind the homosexual agenda? Wow, it's the small hats. Wow, who's behind trying to paint black people who are trying to defend their own interests and fight against terrorism as actual terrorists? Wow, it's the small hats. Wow, who is it that destroyed those buildings and the Twin Towers and 9/11 and actually brought that influence? It's the small hats. Wait a minute. It's no longer black against white. Now there are three parties. There's the small hats, there's the white Anglo-Saxon, and there's the independent black people that understand we have to fight both of these forces. Now that we have three forces instead of two, now we're in a better position because we're defending ourselves against both parties. But if the white nationalists can understand we have boundaries, and if they cross them, we're going to split their head, and they say, look, we got boundaries too. We can actually come to an agreement. We don't want to be integrated. But they say, well, no, the small hats are going to enforce us to be integrated, and they're going to take all our guns away. We say, well, no, they can't take the guns away because that would be destroying the Second Amendment. And by God, as African people in this society, we can't go back to a state of not being able to defend ourselves because we're facing terrorism everywhere. So we also have to fight against that. We can't agree with the small hats on that. But then when those white supremacists decide that they're coming and do stuff with us, then that may be a time when at a particular given moment where we might have to say, this can't be tolerated. And maybe on that moment and in that space, we might have an agreement with the small hat for a minute. But at any rate, we become independent as African people, linking up with our people all around the world to say, this is how we're going to fight. So it's happening right here as we're speaking. Brother, you're brilliant. You get it. You understand. You're on the battlefield. I love it.
Thank you, Brother Jimmy. You made that crystal clear. And I just want to say you did a great job on the Rise of Mulattoes, man. That was a great show.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Straight Black Pride.
All right, Straight Black Pride. And I hope I see all of my brothers and sisters out there that are listening. I hope that we see you at the Second International Convention of the Straight Black Pride Movement. Also, July 24th in New York City, where we're going to be fighting the ISUPK Hebrew Israelites who are against homosexuality and pedophilia. We're going to be linking arms to fight against pedophilia and homosexuality there with the Straight Black Pride Movement. We hope that you can make it out and check it out. July 24th is on a Sunday at the Alhambra. And then August 20th and 21st, the Straight Black Pride International Convention will be sending out more information so you can purchase your tickets now. Let me go to 9280. Praise Nat Turner in the resurrected spirit of our brother Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Praise Nat Turner. Praise his resurrected spirit that came by the way of the personage of Brother Micah Xavier Johnson.
glory to Marcus Messiah, the Messiah, Garvey, excuse me, and definitely long live the spirit of the Honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. I shade Hotel Breakfast.
Tinker-minute.
How's it going, General?
Tinker-minute, in the house. Come on, drop some science on us, young blood.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I ain't gonna hold too long because, man, you really put in point, and I'm glad to see that you dedicated. I think you the first person so far that dedicated a whole show to our water because, man, you got so many scared Negroes, man. I ain't trying to take the glory. It's been really hurting my heart. These Negroes are ready to shoot some and do some. And I ain't talking about the brother who just called the one who died. Let's make clear, I'm not talking about him if he's telling the truth. But you got so many of these brothers on here, these so-called RBGs, going to talk this and that. And then when you see a brother take action, everybody's screaming false flag this, false flag that. I'm like, man, dang, man, don't hate, man. Shoot, you see somebody who wouldn't stand up and do something, man, show him some love. He did what a lot of us dream about doing, we fantasize about doing. and then also, just right quick, with the Black Lives Matter thing, I saw you had put that post up about the Black Lives Matter supporting trainees and stuff like that, man. People was like, oh, man, you causing the bitch with that and stuff. Man, you can't have proper unification without understanding. You just don't unite with anything. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'm just give you an eyewitness account. They came down here. They was down here in Jackson, Mississippi. They did a little demonstration, and people be talking about, man, we need to unite. A lot of folks ain't never just seen Black Lives Matter in person. There's so many punk, sixes, not to mention cracker hippies. They got a lot of cracker hippies in their little formation. So for all you people who come out, you call the division with them. Them ain't no real nationalists. They ain't even really about revolutionary change. They're just a little stunt to, like you said, take control of the movement from the real nationalists and turn to the degenerate stuff.
That's right. But I'm gonna tell you something that's real interesting now that you say that. What most people don't know is that many of those so-called Black Lives Matter people that are out in the street, many of those are literally paid. They're literally paid protesters, meaning they're not really part of the movement. They get a check, and recently they didn't get their check on time, and literally they started doing a movement saying, "Where are our checks?" I mean, they literally started creating a big issue about, "Hey, we haven't been paid for our protesting." So these are not actually individuals who have a movement they believe in. This is the George Soros funded small hat operation, the same as Stanley Levison and the Baird Rustin. It's just on a more magnified level in this age. If you study Stanley Levison, the small hat, and you study Greenberg and Waller and all of them, they pulled up Martin Luther King and directed him to do the nonviolent crusader in opposition of Robert F. Williams, who was the crusader. If you understand the politics of that time and the way the hats and the NAACP and the other small hat operations occurred, and the Garvey movement that was destroyed by the homosexuals who linked up again with the small hats, Julian Mack, who's a judge on Garvey's trial, all of them working with gay Philip Randolph and the whole homosexual Uncle Tom Mobutu movement of that time. The cross section between between the mulattoes, the severe integrationists, the homosexuals, and the small hats. That combination of four groups a lot of times is intermingled with that. They are devastating to nationalism and independent African thought and movement. And we have to be able, that's why people wonder why we talk about the mulattoes now. You have to understand them. You can't actually win the war without understanding them. I'd like to leave it off the table because it just complicates things for people who are trying to get the black-white thing. But if you don't understand the hats, you don't understand the homosexuality, and you don't understand the mulattoes, you miss. You're going to lose. And anytime we haven't understood them in history, we lost. Those are definitive groups you're going to have to fight. If you're going to actually build something for yourself, you got to fight them. And I appreciate you making it clear to people that this Black Lives Matter is nothing but a homosexual front to push homosexuality and have the small hats take the lead in our community and take our people in the wrong direction. It's very important that you keep sharing that information and that you keep giving us real ground accounts. Let me say one more thing I have to say. I haven't put this out there before, but since you're calling, I can just go ahead and say it. I've been watching the freedom movement in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm going to keep it real.
I'm glad you said it, bro.
I'm about to keep it real. The Jackson, Mississippi freedom movement is completely been hijacked by homosexuals and promosexuals.
Say it, brother.
I'm going to say it again.
Say it.
In Jackson, Mississippi, you got real super freedom fighters. But the problem is they do not have the sophistication of understanding the white sex war, the homophile war. And so the real freedom fighters have totally embraced the promosexual, homosexual reality. And now in Jackson, the two are almost one. Anywhere you see the real black freedom fighters, they're right next to the homosexuals, and they do not understand what they're doing to our culture and to our, they don't understand, and they've been completely infiltrated, completely compromised in Jackson, Mississippi.
Bro, I don't want, I know you got a lot of calls, but I'm glad you said, you know, they got this center called the Lumumba Center, named Dr. Chilway Lumumba, right?
Mm.
They know, you see, they know how I stand. It's to the point now, you see, I never go there. You know, I was just going over there off the street of respect our black dogs and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But they know how I feel because I post what I post and I don't hold no bars even when I talk to them. Man, it's to the point now. I had went over there with another brother. We would get some chairs from them. They don't fool me. They don't speak to me in public or nothing. I'm like, cool. I don't post faggots anyway, so it's all good. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even go to that center. You know what I'm saying? But they got oh, excuse my language. I'm sorry, brother. They got a whole thing now. They just had a whole thing where they had a Black Power conference, bro. And if you go and at them, of course I didn't go, but it was nothing but you know, like you said, the real freedom fighters. You see, what it really is, man. They thinking that, you know, and this is where a lot of black people get confused. They thinking if white people, if we fighting against oppression on this front, we gotta fight against quote unquote oppression on every front. And you know, and so it's like to the point where, okay, you see those guys, the homos that corroborate in Jackson, they done took over this anti-Confederate flag thing. They took over this stop the airport take. They pretty much the premier group of what's going on in Jackson. So it seems like all the other groups ride their coattails. So I was talking to a brother who went over there. He went over there for the Black Power thing. And I said, "How was it, bro?" I already knew how it was. He told me, "Man, shit, it wasn't no real." Excuse me again, brother. It was no real black people there. All the black people there was either homos, weirdos, and a whole bunch of white hippies.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this because I can say this now with respect, so people understand. When Brother Chokwe Lumumba was alive, initially I didn't know who he was. Once I learned about him, of course, I was very, very. That's why when I did the feminization of Black Men Reloaded, I put him in there because he had just passed. Great freedom fighter. But I had been informed that he had a representative that was going to another city to represent him in his absence, flaming homosexual. I mean, this was before I knew who he was, and I was, something in my spirit was like, I got to say something about this. I just didn't. And then I'm glad I didn't, because when I started talking to people and they were talking about Chokwe Lumumba, it was all positive. And it's when I realized, wow, okay, we have strong freedom fighters like Brother Chokwe Lumumba who don't understand the homophile assault. They don't understand what they're dealing with. They're from the old school, and it wasn't an issue for them back then that they knew of. They didn't know about Martin Luther King and Barrett Rustin and the relevance it was having on the movement. They didn't understand it. They didn't know. They just see black and white. They don't see the intimacy and the intricacy of this particular battle. And they're giving a pass and leverage to the death knell and genocide of our people without knowing it. So I've been trying to figure out since that time, how do I deal with these old freedom fighters who are still on the battlefield trying to do the right thing, but who are actually welcoming in the death of the race by doing it with these. So they really not, and it's totally unintentional. but they're welcoming in the death of the race by welcoming in the homophile assault. They don't even know it. They don't understand that these homosexuals are going to work hard, and these homosexuals to be in this pretending to be black power in an interest to really push their sexual decadence. And of course, as an elder, they're not going to know that because they're not going to put it in their face. They don't have the sophistication in this particular battlefield to know how to fight. And I ain't gonna lie, I didn't figure out how to do it. The brother passed, I was sad. But even to this moment, I haven't figured out how to do it because you have to almost attack the elders who are the defense mechanism for the fags, not understanding that they're defending the genocide of our race is a very difficult battle to fight. And I haven't figured out how to do it, but hopefully the young people out there hearing it, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna say one more thing. Nobody's gonna like to hear this, but I gotta start saying this stuff because it's gonna happen. For the elders that are really in the battle and doing great work, we love and respect them. I'm not talking about them, but I'm keeping it real. We got a lot of olders that are in the movement and they're blocking our ability to really take the new battlefront and fight. They're just in the way. And I don't mean anything physical by it, but I'm just saying they're stuck on a 1970 battlefield. That's all they do. And they're clogging up organization movements and they're letting them die. We actually have to start abandoning some of these old movements if they're not willing to let young, vibrant, real 21st century warfare understanding and commitment to racial survival come in and play, because they're really now unintentionally, but nevertheless, they're part of the platform of killing us because they kill the new knowledge. They kill the new understanding, the practical realization of what we're dealing with right now. They're not sophisticated in the way they understand it to fight it. And so they're clogging the movement, and they're preventing the people that are ready to fight from reaching the young people who can get the message because they have the facilities and the way to make the marriage happen, and they're preventing the marriage from happening. It's a real major problem in the movement, and it's international. I've been around the world. Everywhere we go, the elders are not seeing this homosexual war. They're not willing to fight it with the kind of intensity that it needs, and they're not fighting any of the mulatto war. They're not willing to take the homosexual war. They're not willing to take. They don't want to drop this religious fanaticism. They don't want to come into African-centeredness, and we can't make them, and we shouldn't be trying. We actually got to figure out the ones that's going to help us, get them on board to provide whatever guidance they can, but we got to move past them because we can't let the fact that we have respect for elders allow us to get killed and slaughtered. And then it's very difficult for us to get movement because they also got a bunch of degenerates posing as African nationalists. That every other word is a curse word, every other word is the N-word. No intelligent elder would listen to somebody like that, even if they got better information on the battlefield. You're not going to listen to somebody like that. So it's like we don't have the pieces we need to connect together to make this thing work, which means we got to make something. That's what Straight Black Pride is, a way to make it work. But we got to work this battlefield. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
Oh, but you right on it, Jim, because, and I'm glad you said it, because what about the elders not fighting this homophile assault, because, look, a lot of what it really is, especially down here, you see them homophiles, they got the main hub, the main center, so a lot of times these elders, in order to keep their name high, to keep their recognition high, they'll still, deal with the punks to get their voice out there. And then the punks, they look like, well, this person is an elder, so if like a person like you will see, and those who follow you in the Straight Black Pride, Walking Rights movement, they'll see right through the game. But then somebody else, they say, well, this elder, he fooling with these homosexuals over here, so that means they must be cool. They stamped in approval. That's one reason why they get, and like I say, I love Barbara Chuck with the death, but like I said, when it comes to choosing my people, I can't let my personal admiration get away of freedom. You see those homophiles, like you said, they represent, I think I know who you're talking about. They represent who's representing, you see, they all directly, most of them are part of Malcolm X's grassroots movement, his organization.
Yes, they are.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And they deep in that thing. I didn't know how, I heard you say it, but till I started, interacting with them, I didn't know that they were just deep in that thing. So they like, they all, when people see that, It's like they already stamped and approved. And people don't really know the whole game behind it.
I'm going to go ahead and say, not that every single individual is a homosexual, but I'm going to say the Malcolm X grassroots movement, for all intents and purposes, is a homosexual organization. It is not a black nationalist organization any longer. It is literally a homophile organization. And that's something we got to come to grips with. We've been completely infiltrated, which is why you're not going to see them give the total type of appreciation for this brother. And let me just say this last piece, because I want people to understand. It's been thought through. We don't make decisions without thinking. If by some wild stretch of the imagination, this actually is a false flag, it doesn't matter. It still benefits us for our brother Micah Xavier Johnson, based on what he was claimed to have done and why he did it. It still benefits us. So we're doing it regardless of if it's a false flag. Who cares? It still benefits us. You understand?
Right.
But these other groups, that's why it's so important to do it. They can't do it. See, we can do it because it's our position anyway that we have to protect our community. And so this kind of freedom fighting effort benefits us because we didn't do it. We just saying we can't disagree with people defending our community. However, these other groups cannot take a position with this because they're a bunch of homos and this ain't how they do stuff. So you will not hear them giving glory and praise to him, which should be a message to the brothers and sisters out there that are looking, who's serious, who's not. Well, why is it if they believe in all of this stuff that they're not supporting this man that was protecting the community? Something suspicious. But these Africans here that are talking red, black, and green, they are saying we want people to support our community. And the reason that will go over well today, because the brothers in the street and the sisters in the street, the everyday people, ain't none of them got no problem with what this brother did. So false flag or not, it don't matter. This one we want to embrace. That's why we're doing it. You got me?
Yes, sir.
You got anything else you want to hit us with, brother?
Oh, no problem. No, sir, brother, because I know you got some other callers, and I want them there to get their word, and I appreciate you. And I'm beginning to ask you soon about the issue down here. It's okay.
Hey, give me a call. We work it out. Straight Black Pride, brother.
Straight Black Pride. All
right. I got one more call, so if you want to speak, hit the number 1 so we can go ahead and bring you on, because this is going to be my last call, if not. 9803. Oh, yeah, coming in the house. Praise Nat Turner in the spirit and the person of brother Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
I would like to praise Nat Turner and thank Nat Turner for coming back in the spirit in the form of brother Micah Xavier Johnson. Respect and honor. I want to give glory to the glorious Marcus Garvey, who put everything together for us, and also the truth terrorists, the knowledge gangsters, the honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Respect to you, brother G.
Yes, sir. The killer urban gorilla, my brother. How you feeling, bro?
Brother, I am feeling very glorious. The day before, I was so hurt, because I was thinking nothing was going to happen. My people are scared. My people are scared. Nobody wants to fight. Talk to somebody. Nobody wants to fight. Everybody wants to talk. And this brother, he came through, and be it a false flag or whatever it is, people need to get the understanding that they purposely put the image of our specific blackness attached to this, attachment to whatever they put out there. This brother, he popped 11, took down 5. I got to speak as a killer. I got to speak as a soldier. It was so fulfilling. It was the answer. It was energy. I mean, I want people to get the understanding. The same way that these devils kill our people in order to try to elicit something that they can build with the energy that happens. Why don't y'all take this energy and get the understanding that your fight is still here. The Negroes, they're being forced to select, like their young brother said before. They're being forced to choose. People who, I gotta admit, just like him, people who you normally would not be able to say two words to about our fight for liberation. Now they're asking questions because even they understand Jesus ain't holding up. They understand Obama ain't holding up. You know what I'm saying? They understand. They the whole Black Lives Matter thing. I talked to some people about that, and they said they don't agree with that either. And you know, I don't get into it as far as what it is. If you disagree, you disagree. I don't want to sway you no further. They get the understanding that your reality, your paradigm needs to shift. So this brother is definitely to be honored. I was speaking that Turner the moment that I heard it. I went to our shrine, gave praise. My wife made some moon water about a couple of months, and I fed the I plant with the moon water, gave praise, but it's a glory for us. We if those Black Lives Matter people and all these other people are able to relive their civil rights right in front of them in these times, Brother Micah X allowed us to relive the times in that Turner, the times of Denmark Vesey, the times of Mac and Dahl. Y'all, I need y'all to understand this. Y'all have seen your history. This is the one coming back to you. Embrace that mode that you want for liberation. Also embrace the understanding that you might have to physically take out some of these enemies. Please get that understanding. And also look at the regular white people. Don't pay no attention to the police and the Klansmen and all that. They're the small ones. The regular white people are the ones that's popping up in your face, throwing America back in your face or that flag in your face as a weapon. That flag does not mean America. That flag does not mean the United States. That flag means whiteness. That brother who they lied and said that he the one who got it started. I forget his name, Mark Hughes or something like that. He's on all over the internet saying that I'm still getting 200 death threats a day. 200. He can't go back home. His brother can't go back home. They out there helping the pigs in the march. They're not understanding that this is tied to whiteness. White people are angry now. And now they have to appease that. So if any of you ain't on your kill mode, you ain't on your soldier mode, you ain't on your survival mode, you better get on there now. Because it's not going to die down. They already got brothers who are being hung. A brother was hung in Kansas the other day. One was hung in Georgia. I mean, you know, the thing is, you have to get yourself ready. And I know you're ready. And I know that beautiful sister and those beautiful seeds that you got, who always got that mean mother face on and ain't smiling. Like Big Daddy. Boy, I swear you're ready for good, bro. I know y'all ready, man. I know your family is safe. I know your family is healthy. I want everybody to really pay attention to what Jeannie said within these next couple of months. Really, really, really listen, because he's going to be able to provide for you a clarity from a strategy clarity from what you are observing, and it's going to put you on the right moral tilt. So, I mean, I want to leave off on that, Jeannie. Yo, much love, much love. Thank you for giving the killers their moment in the sun. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
It ain't always there.
Yes, sir.
It ain't always there. So thank you for that, brother.
Yes, sir. Straight black pride, brother.
Straight black pride.
All right, that's our brother John Moe in the house. Let me go. 2 more callers. We only got 6 minutes left. So if you could come in and say something relatively quick, because I think we can still do a little bit more of the video if you're watching live, but our blog talk is going to cut off in 6 minutes. So let's try to do it a little quickly if you can. 8166, praise Nat Turner in the resurrected spirit of our brother Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to God, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Yeah, and there ain't no deifying that's already deified, right? So, brother Captain Cujo out there in Jamaica, and
I'm sorry, I'm gonna come back to you for 1 second. I want to make sure you about to say the greeting. I think you are, but you started differently. Help me out though. Start with this, and then you can say it however you want to, but I don't want nobody to come on and not say the greeting. So let me come right back to you. All right, let's try that again, brother.
Yeah, Nat Turner. You know, I'm invoking the spirit of Nat Turner, Captain Cool Joe, two-stop brothers, some real slave master killers. You know what I'm saying? Denmark BC. I don't know, he put work in, like spilling the blood, like the brothers that I'm mentioning. You know what I'm saying? That the mastermind genius, military mind defeat Napoleon on the island of Hispaniola, what we now know as Haiti, Toussaint Louverture. So I'm coming in with the spirit of the slayer to take the head off the slave master. I'm Emmanuel, I mean Messiah. My name ringing bells from the all up and down the East Coast. I like to call up on the radio. I'm on the street. Y'all know what it is. I'm coming with today's lesson. Okay, because your mama might have taught you whenever the police stop you, oh, just be a good.
I'm sorry, bro. Dang, I actually want to let the brother speak, but we just don't do it like that. It's praise Nat Turner in the resurrected spirit of Brother Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Garvey, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. And you can definitely throw our brother Cujo in there. I wouldn't really throw, and I don't want to get deep into the conversation, but I wouldn't throw Toussaint Louverture in there though, because he was kind of a Negro. I mean, he did some fighting. I'm not saying that, but you want to really talk Haiti, you got to talk Mackendal. You got to talk. Get the irritated genie, brother. Check that out, because you know I definitely love the spirit you're coming with, but not the disrespect. I know you didn't probably do that on purpose, no problem. But we running out of time anyway. But we don't do it like that in this house. You come in this house, you respect the rules, or you don't speak. Let me go to 9217. Last call for alcohol. Praise Nat Turner in the resurrected spirit of our beloved brother and killer and warrior, Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to God, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad.
Praise Nat Turner in the resurrected spirit of the warrior Micah Xavier Johnson. Glory to Marcus Messiah Garvey, and long live the spirit of Dr. Khalid Muhammad.
How you doing, brother? Yes, sir. Hotel.
Jeannie, this is the brother from out in Montreal, and it's been a while since we spoke, but glad to hear your voice, and I'm just proud of this call and everything around it, you know. But I wanted to say, in regards to the brother that called in that was anonymous, you know, he was there. You know, he said he was there, so just take him at his word. If he was there, I understand what he's going through. Now, I wasn't there when I was sitting there watching as this stuff unfolded on CNN. I was in Florida at the time. And things just jumped right out to the point where I had to make some phone calls. And I was able to verify some things also that contravened what we saw. Now, I know you wanted to keep the call, you know, and what we know, I can say I verified this. I do know, you know, this. I can go on further, or we can cut it short.
You got to make it quick, because we got 2 minutes. If you could just spit it out and don't, you know, just spit it out to me. Bang, 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 bang. Spit it out to me.
Yeah, got it. Well, no problem. So I called. I know I have a friend that has a contact with the DOD, and we went through his military records. He's never been in reserve. He's never deployed. He's never been trained, you know, specialized training, and he's never had any mental conditions as reported by the news and everybody else. So that's been verified through a reliable person. And one thing I want to throw out there is there's no way in the world.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, so the brother didn't get a chance to finish what he was saying. So with that, brothers and sisters, you know how we're going to do it tonight. We're going to end it strong. We're not going to end it wrong. We're going to end it the right way. I think it's good. I know some people say, oh, man, we don't want to have questions. I think it's good. It's okay. We glorify the brother regardless. It really don't matter, because it benefits us. I mean, I believe it, but it don't really matter. At this point, it doesn't matter. It just works for us. And this is a war. So if it works for us, we use it. You want to give us a token that you want to use against us? Well, we'll take the token and buy something that we can use to defend ourselves with it. This one works for us. No matter what or why, it just works. So as long as it works and it's a great benefit, we use it. Let's use it. This is a time where we need it. Even if it just builds the kind of confidence in us and creates the kind of indecision in white police officers who are not really police officers, but really terrorists. If it makes a terrorist or a white police officer who may be going along with terrorism unknowingly, if it makes them go, I don't want to be involved in terrorism and brutality because this could end up getting my friend killed or my mother killed or my child killed because someone would take this act of abuse and think that it's terrorism when it's not. It's just me maybe doing something I know I shouldn't do, going overstepping my authority. If it makes them think, because who, no matter what it is going to make somebody think. I'm telling you right now, I've watched these white folks, they're thinking about this. They don't really want this to happen a lot more. And across the country, this is how I know some stuff's happened. There are other brothers that are shooting cops. I mean, these are real reports of cops being shot, some of them killed. You notice you haven't heard that all over the news. So it's happening right now as we speak. Cops are getting shot, but it's not no organized effort, which means they can't attack nobody, which doesn't benefit them. They can't tear down any system. They can't tear a group. There ain't no group. It's just people that can't tolerate the terrorism. And honestly, we are terrorists. I ain't gonna lie. All of us are afraid. We can sit here live. You're not necessarily scared like we weak, but we nervous when we go out there because we like, man, I don't. If they pull me over, I'm nervous because they shooting brothers and sisters and with children in the car. So now it's like it's just terrorist executions. We can't. I bet you there are a lot of brothers who are carrying weapons, and I'm not advocating that you should do it. But if a brother did it, I would understand, who are not legally supposed to be carrying weapons. But due to the nature of their fear that they're going to be killed if they're pulled over and they haven't done anything, they're like, I'm not just trying to die any kind of way. There's going to be the potential for a lot of stuff to happen. It actually benefits us with this situation. So, but it also, please hear me, brothers and sisters, it also benefits us to hear other sides of the equation and coin. Just in this particular program, I didn't want to go the extensive route of the possibilities. That's not what we're doing today. We're taking something, we're using it for our benefit. We're showing love to our most honorable brother, and this is going to be his record in history. This is how he goes down. So if by chance, this is actually something he did out of the greatness of his heart, we're not going to disrespect that legacy. We're going to honor that legacy with everything that we have. That's how we're supposed to do it. You give the benefit of the doubt to the African that fights for freedom and independence and to protect our people from terrorism and death. That's the only thing that we can do that makes sense. The only thing we can do that makes sense until we have anything better that we can do. And with that said, I think we should end the night the right way, strong and powerful in that same spirit of our brother. We got to understand that this kind of situation will create hate, and is created by the white hatred for black life. But you know, there's also the hate that hate produces.
Hell no.
Yeah, let's go. United Front. Tahir RBG. Yeah. Let's go. I can't shake it loose. This the hate that hate produced. I'm here to break the noose and fight the devil. Ain't no truce. Raise it another level. Shame the devil. Say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you. I can't shake it loose. This the hate that hate produced. I'm here to break the noose and fight the devil. Ain't no truce. Raise it another level. Shame the devil. Say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you. You peak pale skinned beast. I hate your red, white, and blue. And Ku Klux Klan sheets. I hate your president, your senate, and your campaign speech. I hate the British and the Romans and the goddamn Greeks. It's no peace, yeah. Moral persuasion doesn't work with Caucasians. You speak his language through violence with guns blazing. So what I'm saying, negotiating with Satan, it's the waste of time. You out your African mind. Gonna make these devils pay for every single crime ever committed. Cracker, you did it, now it's time to die. I spray the ratchet, I blat it, no moving backwards. I'm sending bullets at crackers and all faggots. Forward is the motion. Killing devils on different levels, concocting potions to stop them from encroaching on our way of life. I got a knife to slit his throat quick. Get my people hyped, cause what I write is always dopeness focus. I can't shake it loose, this the hate that hate produced. I'm here to break the noose and fight the devil, ain't no truce. Raise it another level, shame the devil, say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you. I can't shake shake it loose. This the hate produce.
This the hate you
I'm
made.
here to break the noose and fight the devil. Ain't no truth. Raise it another level. Shame the devil. Say the truth.
Now.
And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you.
Take a step in my lane, I'm projecting the pain. Visions and pictures in my veins of us tortured and slain. So many sons and daughters slaughtered, some known on the name. Bringing my eye to the situation is why I came. I shake, every pet nation gon' exterminate. Marcus Garvey, Mugabe, politic, run them all away. KPI type methodology, how the gods slay. Try life and I don't play, kill these crackers in broad day. Enter the scene, got them clean and watch me swerve at it. Big juju in my pocket, I ain't worried about it. That go for grown-ups to babies. Salute my Baba Khalid, Muhammad, we solid. I call for violence, is very valid. Yeah, murder these devils, it's divine order. We opposites, I reject them mixing like oil and water. Africa for Africans, representing them words strong. I say shut them borders down and let us get a purge on.
I can't shake it loose, this the hate produced. I'm here to break the noose and fight the devil, ain't no truce. Raise it another level, shame the devil, say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you. I can't shake it loose, this the hate produced. I'm here to break the noose and fight the devil, ain't no truce. Raise it another level, shame the devil, say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you.
This ain't no kumbaya vibe, my yasa is a war tribe. That's my war cry, double H famine, it's wartime. Devils want it all, was peaceful coexistence. Anti-separation, he's violently resistant. Coupe tech, bullet high, hit the deck when bullets fly. The devil won't change and needs to be euthanized. The stupidness, foolish minds you will get, use your blind. Suicide, trusting this cracker is suicide. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you know the play. That peace talk is juvenile and really don't hold no weight. Fighting hate with love sounds great in theory, but never ever ever work in history. Name one place that this cracker went. Name one place that this cracker left alone. I bet that they was war prone. Keep a piece in your wardrobe and know the world's a war zone.
I can't shake it loose, this the hate produced. I'm here to break the noose and fight the devil, ain't no truce. Raise it another level, shame the devil, say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you. I can't shake it loose, this the hate produced. I'm here to break the noose and fight the devil, ain't no truce. Raise it another level, shame the devil, say the truth. And look him in his eye when the enemy's facing you.